Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast. Presented by Stephanie Williams and Greg Lewis.
Okay, so today we are diving deep into Binance and, them trying to navigate the wild world of regulations. It's kind of like, trying to change a flat tire while you're driving down the highway.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You've got the highway patrols right behind them with their lights flashing.
It's a pretty interesting analogy, and it's accurate. The crypto world is changing so fast.
It really is.
And for those big players like Binance, compliance, it's not really a choice anymore.
Right.
It's make or break time.
Yeah, and they're finally taking the hint, it seems. They're going to hire, get this, 1,000 new employees, and these employees will focus specifically on compliance.
Wow.
That's more than doubling their team.
That's a lot of new hires.
They're also dropping over $200 million every year into this whole, let's make our operation squeaky clean. That's a big change.
It's a huge investment, and it definitely signals a shift, I think, from reactive compliance to a more proactive approach. But the question is, can they change their internal culture fast enough? Because Binance has a reputation in, turning around a company that big, it takes more than just hiring a bunch of new people, right?
It's true. It's like teaching an old dog new tricks.
Exactly.
Speaking of old habits, Binance has been handling a crazy number of law enforcement requests.
Oh, really?
This year alone, 63,000.
Wow.
That's up from 58,000 last year.
Okay.
What's the deal with that?
Well, I think this suggests that they're cooperating more with authorities and that it's possibly part of a bigger effort to prove they're serious about cleaning up.
Yeah.
Actions always speak louder than words, but it's definitely a positive step.
For sure. And speaking of big actions, we have to talk about that $4.3 billion plea deal.
Yeah.
In the U.S. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's bigger than the entire GDP of some countries. What did they do?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
What did they do to warrant that?
Yeah. Well, the details are still kind of under wraps, but we do know that it involves some pretty serious oversight now from the Department of Justice, the DOJ and the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN. So basically two outside firms, Forensic Risk Alliance and Sullivan and Cromwell. They're playing hall monitor now, making sure that Binance is doing everything by the book. And it really shows just how expensive non-compliance can be, not just for Binance, but for everyone in crypto.
Yeah, that's an expensive lesson. And then there's this other elephant in the room, that ongoing SEC lawsuit.
Right.
That's claiming that Binance mishandled customer funds and didn't follow other regulations. So are they the hero or the villain here? Are they trying to change or just sweep it all under the rug?
Honestly, it's probably a bit of both. They seem to be trying to move forward, make some changes, but your past actions always have consequences.
Yep.
This lawsuit is going to be a major, major test for them. It'll show just how committed to transparency they are, so it's an important thing to watch.
So we've got this massive compliance push, a record number of law enforcement requests, a multi-billion-dollar plea deal, and then the SEC lawsuit on top of that. You'd think that they'd want to lay low, but they're doing the opposite. They're actually expanding globally. They're even looking for a new headquarters. Rumor has it, maybe Dubai, maybe Abu Dhabi. Big moves. Why expand now in the middle of all this?
I mean, it does seem a little counterintuitive, but it could be a very smart move strategically. The Middle East, especially places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, are really trying to make themselves into these global crypto hubs with, maybe potentially friendlier regulations. For Binance, this could be a way to operate in a place that's a little more welcoming while they deal with all the issues that they're having in the U.S.
So they're saying, later, U.S., we're going where the sun is shining a little brighter.
Well, not exactly. The U.S. is still a big deal in crypto, and they know that. This is more about not putting all their eggs in one basket, diversifying a bit.
That makes sense. But Dubai and Abu Dhabi aren't the only things they've got up their sleeve, are they? What else are they doing while they figure out their new global HQ?
It's like they're trying to rebuild a plane while it's still in the air. So on top of all that, they're tightening up their rules around listing tokens, being more choosy about the cryptos they allow to be traded on their platform.
So like higher standards. Trying to get rid of those meme coins and all the pump and dump stuff, like a stricter door policy for the crypto Wild West.
Exactly. It's all about trust with users and with regulators. And it's not even just who they're letting in, it's who they're working with. They're strengthening ties with, something called prime brokers.
Okay, hold up a sec. Prime brokers. Now, for those of us who aren't living in the financial district, what does that even mean?
Basically, there are these big financial institutions that work with hedge funds and other big-time investors. Think of them like the VIPs of the financial world. So when Binance works with those guys more closely, it tells everyone that they're trying to attract more institutional money.
So they want the big leagues, huh? Where everyone wears suits, carries briefcases full of, well, probably not cash, but you get the idea. Big money, big responsibility, right?
You got it. And that kind of money, that usually means tougher compliance, more stability, which is exactly what Binance needs right now. But here's something interesting. They're actually spinning off their venture capital arm.
They're what now? Venture capital, like investing in other crypto projects. Why would they do that now, of all times?
It seems kind of strange, I know, but it's strategic. See, by separating the venture capital stuff from their main business, the trading platform, they're streamlining their focus. They're really showing they're serious about that main platform.
So it's like saying, look, we're not just throwing money at every shiny new token we see. We're legit. We're a real exchange.
Yeah, exactly. And, despite everything they're dealing with, the market seems to like these moves. They're still the biggest in terms of trading volume.
So even with all the drama, they're still top dog. But can they really pull this off? Can they go from, like, the rebels of the industry to the teacher's pet? Or will all that stuff from the past catch up with them?
That's the million-dollar question. I mean, I haven't always made the best choices, that's for sure, but they seem ready to adapt, to change, and that's more than a lot of companies in this space can say. I mean, how many companies crashed and burned because they were stuck in that move fast and break things mindset?
So being able to change quickly is key. But what about that whole SEC lawsuit hanging over their heads? That seems like a big obstacle. How much of a threat is that really to their big plan?
It's a big one. It could really change things, not just for Binance, but for everybody in crypto. Like if the SEC wins big, that's going to send shockwaves, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is like a defining moment.
Yeah.
It'll set the tone for how crypto and regulators interact, probably for years to come. Everyone's holding their breath, seeing who's going to back down first. It's a total showdown then. But they're not just fighting with the SEC. They're also making some pretty big moves on the global stage, too.
Right. Remember that new headquarters thing we talked about? Well, that's just the beginning. They're teaming up with those more traditional financial institutions, the old guard in some pretty big markets, and they're going to offer crypto services together.
So now, instead of trying to shake things up, they're trying to work with the system. It's like they're saying, hey, let's all be friends.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so important for crypto to really take off, to become mainstream, because the more they work with these existing systems, the easier it is for regular people to, dip their toes in the water. It's less scary that way.
It's like they're offering a crash course in crypto.
Exactly. But it's not just about making it easy, it's about actually doing something with it, something real. Binance is looking into how to use this whole blockchain tech for supply chains, digital IDs, maybe even voting systems.
Whoa, hold on. So we're talking about changing how we do, like, everything from how we track our packages to how we vote. That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's the power of Web3, right? And Binance, they want to be the ones leading the charge. Their bet is that as this tech becomes more normal, more a part of our everyday lives, the demand for a crypto system that's safe, that's regulated, that's easy to use, it's just going to explode.
So they're thinking long term, not just about making a quick buck, but about making themselves essential, indispensable in a future where crypto is like as normal as checking your email.
Exactly. And that's what makes Binance so fascinating, so important to watch. They represent the potential, the good and the bad of the whole crypto world. But the big question is, can they really navigate these regulations, make people trust them again, and actually make this Web3 dream a reality?
It's the billion-dollar question. And there's no easy answer, is there?
Nope.
But one thing's for sure, everyone's watching their every move.
That's for sure. And that's all we've got time for today.
That was a wild ride. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Binance. Until next time, stay curious.
Beyond the Hype, a fashion lifestyle tech podcast.